Hello everybody and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Video Clips. And I have a bunch of announcements today because we have so many incredible things going on at Wellness Farm. And the first one is, of course, this is Valentine's Day week. And the kitchen makes chocolate biscotti, and they are amazing. I mean, the hardest thing in my world is to sit in this building, smell those chocolate biscotti, and not go over there and eat them. But we ship them every place in the world. They're a wonderful gift. And as our website says, nothing says I love you like chocolate biscotti from the Wellness Forum. So, and we won't tell if you just call and get some for yourself. We know some people do that. The second thing is that advanced study this month has turned out to be really interesting. We did the first session last night, but you can get the recording and listen to the second session. It's about a book called Exercise, Mood, and Anxiety. And the book is about that, but it goes a whole lot deeper and gets into what motivates people, how people can change their motivation. And I think it's a great step-by-step way to look at how you change habits and do it much easier. I really like the co-authors of this book, and I'm glad I chose it for advanced study. And then a couple of new things that we're doing. Some of you who don't live in Columbus probably hear about our dinners and say, gosh, I wish I could come to one of your dinners. Well, we can't feed you long distance, but what we can do is we can give you the same workshop that our guests here live get to listen to. So on February 19th at 9 o'clock p.m., it's a Thursday night, I'm going to do an intro session. So if you live in Iowa or South Africa or Seattle or Canada or any place on the planet and you would like to have a live, free, interactive session with me to learn a little bit about our model of healthcare and how some tips that you can start right now today doing differently that will impact your health. All you have to do is call the office and we'll get you set up for that and send you slides. You'll have our slides so that you can look at them. You don't have to take notes fast and furious. And if you're a healthcare professional who's interested in what this organization might be able to help you do from a professional development standpoint, or if you'd like to work with us, I'm doing an intro session on February 26th at 8 p.m. about that. So lots of stuff going on. I won't go on and on about it. You can go to our online calendar at wellnessfarm.com and learn about all the great stuff that goes on here. Lots happening every day. All right. Here's a statement that you will not be shocked at. Hospital food is hazardous to health. You're going, duh, right? Almost every week I talk to somebody who's visited a family member or a friend in the hospital. You get a lot of horror stories, but one of the most common has to do with the food served in the hospital. Patients with heart disease are given meatloaf and mashed potatoes with gravy, and cancer patients are given grilled cheese sandwiches. I've watched this. I know it goes on. Many people ask what can be done to convince hospitals to serve better food to sick people. Well, there are a lot of things that influence the awful diets in hospitals. One of them is incompetent food service personnel and dietitians who don't know better, a captive market, and of course reimbursement happens whether you fix somebody or kill somebody. I think about Martin Goldhill in his book Catastrophic Care, where he got a bill for $600,000 after the hospital killed his father. You get paid whether you produce good results or not. And here's perhaps the most important. It's the hospital's culture which allows fast food restaurants to be housed within their institutions and has absolutely no expectation that even the personnel will practice healthy habits. A recent report from the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine shows that Chick-fil-A has restaurants in at least 20 hospitals, McDonald's in at least 18, Wendy's in 5. What's most distressing in the report, however, is the financial interaction and how the revenue expectations are set. In many cases, the fast food restaurant and the hospital are actually partners in revenue generation. For example, McDonald's has a location in Ben Taub Hospital in Houston, and its contract states that the restaurant can terminate the contract if sales are not at least $1 million. Now, to put this in perspective, this means that the equivalent of 208,000 Big Macs every year have to be sold at this location in order for McDonald's to want to stay there. And the rent increases with increased sales, which further incentivizes the hospital to promote the products. It's even worse at Georgia Regents Medical Center Children's Hospital. The McDonald's in this institution does McDeliveries, you heard me right, to patients of Happy Meals, birthday party food, and a snack menu, which includes ice cream and nachos with cheese. The lease for the McDonald's at Grady Hospital in Atlanta calls for a base rate and rent increases based on volume and requires that the restaurant be open from 6 a.m. to 3 a.m. daily. And the contract between Chick-fil-A and Greenville Memorial Hospital requires that the hospital, and this is a quote from the lease, make every reasonable effort to increase the sales and business and maximize the gross receipts. In other words, the hospitals benefit financially from promoting health-destroying foods, both directly, as in this type of arrangement I'm describing to you, and indirectly. How about, seeding future business? If we keep these people eating fast food and fat, they'll certainly be back for more bypass surgeries and other operations and procedures. Well, the practice says a lot about several things. The ethics of some hospitals was one, the lack of importance given to nutrition in the grand scheme of things, and most likely a complete lack of understanding about the relationship between diet and health. It's obvious that the food served to patients in their rooms is not going to get a whole lot better until all the rest of this gets addressed. I don't see it changing anytime soon, so I'm going to continue to tell people the nicest thing you can do for somebody who has the misfortune of being hospitalized is bring food to the hospital. It's one of the best contributions you can make to helping the person recover faster and getting the heck out of the hospital. It is a very bad place for sick people, okay? All right, so on to the next thing. According to a new study, one of the reasons why some people are resistant to changing their diets is because they don't think that healthy food can taste good. The researchers discovered, I used that like with air quotes, that people think the most important consideration when choosing food is taste. Well, I don't think that's a new discovery. I think we're all aware that people choose foods based on taste, and the food industry knows this, and that's how they design their products, is to appeal to taste. Well, I obviously think that the health-promoting value of food should be taken into consideration, but I, for one, don't want to eat food that doesn't taste good either. I mean, if I had to eat cardboard all day, I'd probably go back to chicken and cheese or something too. Who wants to do that? So, for this study, researchers gave subjects yogurt products that had different amounts of fat and sugar, and then they provided different information to different subjects. The results are kind of interesting. Even when subjects were given nutrition information that was designed to make people make a healthier choice, they didn't. They chose the less healthy option anyway. Regardless of what type of information they were given, they all reported that the yogurt with more fat and sugar tasted better. Now, the researchers did qualify their statement that while the study addressed the role of taste in health and decision-making, other considerations such as price, brand recognition, convenience, and social pressure were important too. But the take-home point here is really important. If we want to convince people to adopt a wellness farm style diet, we're going to have to win them over by appealing to their taste buds. Now, I have been spoiled by the delicious food created by Chef Dell in the Wellness Farm kitchen. And I know that one of the reasons we captivate so many people who attend our dinners here is because they get a chance to taste the delicious food, and they routinely say to us, gosh, I could eat this, my family would eat this. Even better is that once we have their attention, we can show people that our style of eating addresses the other things that the researchers brought up. It's very inexpensive, it's easy to do, and the world's really accommodating these days. Almost all stores and restaurants have food, at least some food, that is appropriate on our dietary plan. So a word of advice for those of you who are in the business of helping people to improve their health with diet: make sure that everything you serve to the newbies is accessible and recognizable and tastes amazing. Our philosophy here is you romance them with the food, and then later you can capture their minds with the science and the evidence for plant-based eating. All right, that's all for today. Have a great one, and I'll be back to you on Thursday with more news. As usual, please pass this on to anybody who you think would enjoy watching it.